All
right, you go first.
Okay. I met her at a cookout that I wasn't supposed to go to because I was supposed to be studying for the bar. And I had decided I wanted to spend my last day before studying for the bar playing Marvel Ultimate Alliance. And my boy taught me to going out to the house at the cookout. Met you and your sister Ashley were there, right?
Yes, and I wasn't supposed to be in town either.
Right.
So.
And I had a really engaging conversation with you until Jeff started talking about how all women needed to be barefoot and pregnant.
Yes.
And everybody cleared out.
Deaded, just done.
And then I asked you for your phone number, and you said?
I said no. I said that I had just turned 25. I was on my way to Paris, and I said that I was enjoying life and traveling, and I wasn't trying to date right now. So I told him no.
No. You forgot the part, and I'll get your phone number from your boy when I get back.
It was in a nice way, though. It was just like, I'm just enjoying life. I don't want to, but I did it nicely.
But you're like, I'm trying to take you to a movie. I ain't trying to, I wasn't at the time trying to spend forever with you. I was like, girl, I'm trying to take you to the movie. I'm take you to Sizzler, but
no. And I wanted to take the LSATs, and I have my MBA, but I was thinking about doing like an MBA JD. And so since he had just graduated from law school and had already gone through the LSATs, and I contacted him to kind of get some study help.
And I thought it was a really nice professional call. So I was like, this is an accomplished woman. Might be a good business connection. So we had a really like polite 45-minute conversation about my opinion towards the LSATs and study methods and stuff. And I was like, you get mercilessly gunned down once. You don't like trying to holler at somebody again. I was just like,
I wasn't mercilessly.
If you ask somebody for their phone number and they say Paris, it's like, okay. Don't be that dude. So I mean, it was a nice professional conversation. And I mean, and Roxie, I already knew she was really smart. And so I just left it at that. And then you sent me an email.
Yeah, so my cousin and I were looking to go out in DC, and he lived by Howard, so we connected and we went out. I had a great time. I had a lot of fun. But no, that wasn't the first date.
That was the second night.
That was the second night.
You just told me that. I remember all the bits you did.
Yeah.
See, you were traveling for business. You told me I could give you a call. You specifically told me what times I could call.
Oh, I remember all that.
I called 5 minutes after the time, and she was on a conference call, and now she was unavailable. So lesson number one, I was like, apparently her time is really valuable. And if I want to interact with this woman, I'm going to have to be available at the specific time that she specified, because otherwise she's like, I got scheduled. Our first date was ESPN Zone.
Yes, first date was ESPN Zone.
Guys go through phases. The type of woman, as I got older, I realized that was worth my time was a woman who knew what her sense of worth was. So if I knew that you thought you were about something, then that made you somebody I wanted to interact with. Nice. And so I mean, I went to 2 HBCUs, so I mean, I had a chance to be around lots of intelligent black women, and so intelligent black women, y'all kind of tight.
And I'm so happy you stuck with those things.
But I mean, and Roxie was really smart and she was really engaging. I hadn't traveled anywhere yet, so the fact that she was going to Paris meant she was already more worldly than I was. For me, I hadn't gone further than South Carolina. No, I take that back. I went to the Bahamas after I graduated with the boys. Yeah. So I had been to the Bahamas, but that's the most traveling I had done. And I thought Roxie was pretty. And I thought she was naturally pretty. Roxie doesn't need a lot of makeup to look nice. She doesn't have to do much, and she's got a good heart. You didn't make it easy though, but no.
I never make it easy.
I mean, I'll put it like this. I think when you're just dealing with people in general, right? You meet some people that are really forgettable, and you meet people who you're kind of like, that's just a really interesting person. And so I think just on a human being level, I just thought she was impressive. I thought she was smart. And I thought she had a lot of self-confidence. And look, I love anybody. I'm an attorney, so obviously I love talking. I love debating. Anybody who can sit and hold their own in a conversation with me, like, you automatically have my attention. So, just she's strong-willed. She has her own opinions, and she can communicate them really well. So, when we get into a topic, we can have fun chopping it up. So,
yeah.
I mean,
nice. It was a great debate. Yeah.
Great debate.
It was good at the barbecue until that guy went way left. And women need to be barefoot and pregnant. His friend, I was like, whoa, whoa.
No. That was not
An associate. Okay.
Thank you.
Because you don't want no problems when we leave here. That's not my friend.
When I said there was a partner in the Red Sea at that cookout, brothers went this way, sisters went this way, and that individual who will not be named was left in the middle of Gilligan's Island all on his own.
So we showed up at ESPN Zone. I showed up just casual. I'm very big on, this is who I am. So I didn't have any makeup on. This is Roxie, right? Take me as I am or don't. And Armand showed up in like a full-blown suit. It was trying to impress, and I was like, oh. And so we had a great time. We played air hockey, which I won.
No, because if you had won, we wouldn't be here. Yeah. We played air hockey. In playing air hockey, she was like, if you want a second date, you're going to have to play me in air hockey and beat me.
It wasn't that bad. We were playing. It was fun.
No. And then she's like, back home and, in the Bay. All my people know me as like a legend.
For air hockey. Yes. I love air hockey.
Like, I've smoked everybody. So, good luck to you. And I'm kind of like, okay, so look. I've already asked this girl for her phone number. She said, no, she's going to Paris. And now, you've mentioned to your boys you're going on a date with somebody. And when the inevitable, so whatever happened to so-and-so you were trying to holler at. However the story is going to play out, the narrative will not be, and I lost to her in air hockey on the second day. So I took my suit jacket off, rolled up my sleeves, and I was like, I might not get another date, but this girl's about to get smoked.
He won, we ate, and we had a good time.
Oh my God.
And then I asked you if you wanted to go with me to Best Buy, and you were like, Negro, no.
You were trying to extend the day.
Yeah. I was like, let's fool around, let's look at some stuff, let's chill. It's like, you've been fun, boo-boo. Thank you.
Have a good night.
Exactly.
Why did you wear a suit to ESPN?
It
was like a Dave & Buster's.
Yeah, like a Dave & Buster's type of chill. I had jeans on and a shirt.
After.
No, it's not that. It's about setting. Look, when I was 19 and you're dating girls from that time period, right? I'm dressed in my Air Force Ones and I'm dipped in all nines because I'm like, you're dressing for that time period. If you're going after somebody who's got a bachelor's degree and an MBA, showing up at that point in a throwback jersey was not exactly going to wow her. So I'm trying to send a message of, you at a certain place. I think I'm at a certain place too. And so I'm gonna be like, so I'm gonna go all out. So
did that work for you?
It did. It was great. He looked, nothing's better than a man in a suit, right? Black man in a suit, well dressed. Yeah. Nothing's better. So I was impressed. And then I felt underdressed because I'm in my jeans and my sweater.
Right.
So absolutely.
I think I'm kind of like the artistic one. I think Roxie's, Roxie has a lot of grit and a lot of grind. I think she's really good. She's a really good businesswoman. She's very pragmatic. She does a good job of just being structured and thoughtful about the stuff that she does. I think she's a good balance. I think she really worries about values for our kids, and so I think everything she does really is intentional. So I think it's a nice balance. I think I'm really free spirited. I'm really free spirited. I think not that you're overly serious, but I think you
I'm a little more. You guys could probably tell I'm a little more serious, but it's a good yin and yang. Like we bring out these best qualities in each other, and so he'll always kind of pull me out to want to go do something fun or be fun or look at something silly. Then I'm pulling them back into cleaning the kitchen and balancing checkbooks and whatever. So it's a really good balance.
So I proposed on the opposite, which is the boat.
Yeah.
Okay, so I had gotten the engagement ring. Funny story, I wanted to get Roxie a big engagement ring. Roxie was like, boo, I want a house. So she gave me the SKU number for the ring that she wanted. So when I walked in to get the engagement ring, I was like, can I have 96138?
Because we went to the outlet in California. We were home visiting in Thanksgiving, and then we just happened to be at the outlet. So we went to the Zales outlet, and I saw this ring that I really liked. It doesn't need to be over the top or team too much. And so I was like, I want this one. So
I bought that ring, and then I went and got tickets for the Odyssey, but I started having nightmares about losing the ring overboard. And so for about 3 or 4 days before the proposal, I couldn't sleep. And then after the fact, she told me, I thought we were about to break up, or you had cheated or something, because for 3 days you couldn't sleep right at night. Because I kept having nightmares of, I pop open the box and the ring bounces out and goes in the water. Because for me, for that time period, that was the most amount of money I had saved from one specific thing ever. And 2, I wasn't used to multiple thousands of dollars being able to be something you can put in somebody's hand. I was used to X amount of money, car, airplane tickets, trips, a back tattoo, big things. Not like.
Is there a back tattoo?
He's got a couple of them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything that nice. Now, if you want to give me something for my next birthday, I can do the 50 cent and you can give me that. But
for the record, I have never. One of the things I love about Armand is his character, the kind of man that he is. I have absolutely never, in our almost 10 years of being married, ever doubted like him cheating or anything. Because that's just one of the things that I just know. He's like a man of God. He's a fantastic human being, and it's just not our issue. Like I would never.
And then the curses you put on me.
Well, you know.
Like, look, every narrative of my future that doesn't involve you is like, well,
you will be cursed.
This doesn't work out. Like, you're just gonna fall over and die. Your foot's gonna break, and you're gonna have bad credit on day one.
I'm just putting it out there,
Roxie has a job where she teleworks from home a lot, so she's bouncing around the house, working in different areas. So she likes camping out occasionally in our bedroom, with my pillow propping her up. I'm a pillow snob.
I bought the pillow.
It doesn't matter. It's the principalities, principles involved. I want that pillow nice and crispy cold when I go to sleep.
Cold.
Roxie runs hotter than any human being I've ever encountered before. So once she lays in that thing for 15 minutes, like I feel the heat in that thing for the rest of the day. And it's like, plus I walk in the room and it's like, come on, baby, I asked you not to. Like,
it's not intentional.
I'm not even touching your pillow. So, I mean, Roxie Roxie for the most part is a very easy to get along person. That's like my only legitimate pet peeve, and it's funny because it's been like that since the time we started living together. It's been like in a straight line.
I would say for us, like our biggest challenge is roommate issues, and so it's not parenting. We are like very equally yoked in terms of like church and kids and approaches to life. But roommate issues, cleanliness. We have a Crystal Light episode.
Hey, man. My brother made Crystal Light in the dark one time. There might have been some powder. Look, that was like 2008. It was a real.
The principality of it. Yeah, so it's the roommate issue that we actually have the most challenge with.
It got better after we started using separate bathrooms.
It got better after that, and after we started just having a regular housekeeper and stuff like that.
We stopped living in the condo. We were living in the condo.
It was smaller. Yeah.
The reason why I love Roxie the most is because Roxie decided to take a chance on me when I wasn't so professionally established. I didn't look the way that I do now. Because I'll say when I was in law school, one of the comments that brothers amongst ourselves frequently made was that sisters wanted Tupac in the boardroom. You had to have the ability to Uzi the whole block, but you had to have an MBA and be perfectly put together, be diesel like 50 Cent. And I wasn't in the best shape when I was in law school. Studying your brain nonstop will get you there. And eating bad food will get you there. I didn't have fantastic credit. I wasn't particularly traveled, and I hadn't passed the bar when I met Roxie. So my career hadn't really taken off yet. So she was further along than I was, even though there was a difference in our ages. She took a chance on me. So in terms of fidelity and not cheating and all that, it's easy for me to look at my wife and be like, well, you wanted me when I wasn't so fantastic. So for somebody who's coming at me now, it's like, well, you see me where I'm at now. So, but it's kind of like you want the finished product. You didn't want me when I was on the come up. And so I loved her because she believed in me back in the day. When believing in me, you had to have faith that I am actually who I say I am, and I'm gonna do the stuff that I'm saying that I want to do. And that's why.
I hate that term though, took a chance. Like I didn't take a chance on him. Like he's a good man. He's a good person. He's got a good heart. That's what I was looking for. It wasn't, the pedigree, though there needed to be a certain level of, you need to have some grit and, you want to go get it. So there needs to be that. But it was, are you a good person? Can I raise a family with you? When my boys grow up, can I say I want them to be like their father? And that that's what I love most about him. And I would say pre-kids, you know, we were in Hawaii and he was taking off and I had to stay there for work. And I just remember like my heart, and it was early on in our relationship, but I just remember like being so sad that he was leaving. And I was like, wow, you know, no, okay, come back, and, you know, crying and never really having been there, having to do, you know, acting or feeling that way before. And then post kids, it's just yesterday, you know, him and the kids went to the park for almost 3 hours. You know, I got to go get my hair done, right? And it's those little things that, you know, he puts back into us, he puts back into the family. And that's what kind of makes me feel like, oh man, I chose the right person for me, the right person for our family. You know, I'm very happy. Until he doesn't clean.
I feel to hit the trash off.
Right. Armand just said I'm easy to get along with. I'm not. I don't think I am. And I think he challenges me every step of the way, which is great. He's an attorney. I need someone that's strong and a strong personality to go with my equally strong personality that will debate me and challenge me to view things in a different way. And so he makes me look at things in a way that I might not have looked at them. So what I've learned about myself is that I am, you know, not the world's easiest person. I'm set in my ways in terms of what I think should happen, and boom, 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 this is what we're gonna do. And he'll buck up against that and say, no, we should probably try this or try that. And I've had to really readjust kind of my approach, which is a good thing. I would not have done well with somebody who I could have like walk all over and this is what we're gonna do, you know, so it's good. It's a good pairing.
What was the question? I was too busy listening.
What have you learned, I think, about
what have you learned about yourself
being with me?
What I think I've learned from being in a relationship with Roxie specifically, this is my longest relationship. I mean, I think before you, it was like 18 months was a long stretch. It was like, oh, it's time to go. I think I've learned that marriage is having to punch in and work every day. I think, I mean, I don't know. I think like dating, you have expectations like, well, you have to do what I want you to do, or you have to be nice to me, or, and I think, no, seriously. And I mean, I think, what I learned from being in a relationship was that being a good partner means going out of your comfort zone, means doing stuff that you don't want to do. It means opening yourself up to new experiences that you may not be particularly interested in. Being willing to play the background. Roxie's really exceptional in her career. And I teased her that early on we would go to corporate events and my job was to be the beefcake standing on the side because it was her prime time moment. And so I think learning to be in the front when she needs me to, but being able to give her space and let her go do her thing when she needs to as well. She travels a lot for business, and so is being maybe a different kind of dad than what I was expecting. If you had asked me at 25, are you going to be the dad who's staying home and running behind the kids when your wife is on a business trip across country? Like, man, I ain't no suckers. And it's like, and in reality, it's like, and poopy diapers and baths of my own and everything else, and mom's checking in, and that's reality. So I think, what I've learned from being in a relationship with you and being married, and being a good partner is always punching in, always being willing to help. And I guess, and to be honest, and kind of losing some of your ego too, because it's kind of like you can't be worried about she did this, so I'm gonna do that.
Right.
It's kind of just like this marriage is a project, this family is a project, and it's like sometimes you get to be Jordan, and sometimes you're gonna be Steve Kerr, and you just kind of gotta get used to bouncing back and forth.
I think the most difficult thing that's happened in the time that we've been together is when our son was diagnosed with epilepsy. And, going through him having seizures and having to go to Children's Hospital multiple times and learning what that diagnosis means and what it means to the family and having to work through that. I know I got depressed in terms of, living it, seeing it, trying to figure out what that meant for our son's future and having to work through that. And then shortly after the diagnosis, I guess about 6 months after the diagnosis, we got pregnant. So trying to be like working with our younger child and then, being pregnant with the second boy and trying to go through that. I think that was a very tough time for me and for us, trying to live through that diagnosis. I think he was a stronger one and was able to give me a lot of strength. I mean, 'cause I just remember just crying a lot and just being so upset. that I couldn't do anything for my son. I couldn't stop the seizures. And as a mom, like, that's what you do. You stop the pain, and there was nothing that I could do to stop the pain. And so he was a source of comfort for me, of kind of helping me, things are gonna be okay, guiding, leading me back to God in terms of, let's pray about it, things are gonna be fine, let's be prayerful and faithful, which really helped me get through it. As a mom, I wouldn't have been able to do it on my own.
I think being a professional black male is a lot more daunting than people make it out to be. I think there are constant questions in regards to whether people are minimizing your talent. You see less qualified people getting opportunities that you can't understand. And I think the biggest thing for me is having somebody I can come home to who I feel like is smarter than me, who has different experiences from me, that I can sit and I can bounce ideas off of and I can strategize. Because it's kind of like, look, this is a black family. This is not like a particularly warm and fuzzy time period in this country. And so for me, it's kind of like, I take solace in the fact that I know whatever our family goes through is nowhere as difficult as the stuff that was from, our grandparents and when I came before. But my thing is like, failure really isn't an option. We've got kids. There's no choice but to grind. So it's like, the hardest thing I'm trying to deal with is trying to make sure that my sons outlive me, that my wife has a positive future. And so my thing is that, she helps me get through the grind of making sure that things get to where I need them to be, which is, a happy, healthy, prosperous, spiritually and mentally, aware and confident and safe, family that's holding their own. In this world, the only woman in this world that I think who could deal with me, could understand what I'm going through in this world and what I have to accomplish it has to be a sister.
And why is that?
Because it's shared experience.
Yeah.
It's because there's some things I don't have to communicate. I'll give you a perfect example. It's like the brother's head nod. If you were an African American male, I couldn't tell you what it is that I walk down the street, I see you, you see me, and we both nod. Because some people were absolutely invisible. Right. And I don't know where I learned it or what time but it's natural and it's normal. I can sit and talk to Roxie about, man, we were cracking up in the barbershop tonight. And we live in the same world. We have the same cultural history. We exist in the same space. And I don't have to translate my blackness to her in a way that she can understand. And I'm unapologetically black. I don't want to be something else. Yes. I love what I am. I love where I come from. I love, my family. I love that I got my DNA tested and I know where my people in Africa come from. Like, I'm blackity black. So it's and I don't want to have to, and it's not a knock against anybody else. I think every human being has the right to choose love and how they find it and what works right for them. But for me personally, it was like, I knew that I wanted a sister. Having gone to 2 HBCUs, I knew there were a lot of educated black women out there. And I wanted somebody who was on my level, who wanted to work hard, who had a good heart. And, and I found you, and you had really nice hair.
And I wanted somebody that I could be able to, how do you teach black boys or black girls and how to be loved and see love and show love? And I think the best way is by a loving black household that can translate history and ancestry and passion and strength into these kids and show them that. And I just couldn't imagine being married to anyone other than a black man. Beautiful, beautiful man.
Look, like you said, there's a stereotype and there's a narrative, right?
Yeah.
And that narrative, the narrative that there are healthy black families who are trying to raise their children, who are productive citizens, who are proud to be Americans, but we have our own version of what America needs to be and what it needs to strive to be. That narrative isn't popular. And so, it's not going to be out there. And I think that's the reason why we have to tell our own stories.
Yeah.
And we have to communicate our own truth.
Yes. Phenomenal.
And then beyond that, to me, I'm kind of like, in terms of educated black men, I'm like this. I'm a political science major. Politics is about life, and so I knew when I was going to undergrad that there were some brothers who were like, well, I want something other than a black woman, and I viewed that as, well, that's a political choice. If I get to X place in life and you see me with somebody else on my arm, for me personally, it becomes hard to sell a narrative of I want this for black folks. And then in terms of what I wanted intimately in my personal life, I chose something else. For me, I was like, I love black people. As a consequence, I love black women. As a consequence, I want a black woman on my arm. Because politics is personal. And that's not a knock against anybody else. Every human being has a right to have their own right to self-determination, and I support that 100%. Just for what was right for me was I wanted somebody who could understand me, who could believe in me, and understood my culture and appreciated it and valued it because it was hers as well.